would like to welcome the board, architects, prospective parents and students, accreditation team, administration, and members from the State Department. We're here today to help make the Holmes Special Education Charter School a reality. The Holmes Special Education Charter School, in partnership with the community, will be partners and facilitators in helping students with moderate to profound disabilities define long-term goals and give them the tools needed to execute the steps to achieve these goals in a needs-based and highly individualized way. Our vision is to help high school age students with moderate to profound disabilities self-advocate and drive their education through freedom, opportunity, life skills, safety skills, job skills, therapeutic services, movement, and to partner with the community to make these goals a permanent reality as they transition out of high school. As of right now, with our proposed budget, looking at our numbers that are proposed as well as our proposed building, we would like to start our first year with 510 high school age students with moderate to profound disabilities in self-contained settings. So what sets us apart? First, we're going to have small class sizes. Every class will have one teacher, at least one instructional aide, if not more, depending on the setting, and several students in their IEP will be approved for a companion aide. This allows for more small group and one-on-one instruction. This is also going to be a learner-centered school, and we will talk more about that in the next slides. And every student's education is going to be individualized. And this is not just because of it being a special ed school with IEPs. This is also because we are going to base our school in a learner-centered curriculum. A little bit of background information. We'll be serving students with disabilities in grades 9th through 12th. But in the state of South Carolina, this really defines students up to age 21. This will be in the downtown area of Sumter, South Carolina. Business is really growing in the downtown area, and there are so many job and community opportunities. We would really love for students to be able to walk to these opportunities, and that is why we have chosen this location. And we'll be serving any student whose IEP determines that they can be served in a self-contained setting. This typically includes students with moderate to profound disabilities, but sometimes mild, and this will mainly serve students with ID, which is intellectual disabilities, autism spectrum disorders, traumatic brain injuries, and emotional behavior disorders. So why does being a learner-centered school matter? First of all, teachers are facilitators for student-led curriculum. Teachers, as well as the IEP team, will create IEP and transition plans that are student-led, that will determine goal areas that these students really want to focus on as they transition out of high school. And we will help guide them and provide them with real-life opportunities to make these goals a reality. This is going to involve a lot of out-of-the-classroom work, which is really what we want. And that's what they want too. That's a lot of being learner-centered. It's going to be highly individualized. No two students out of our 510 will be working on the same thing. Every single student is going to have their own individualized goals and academic plans that our curriculum team as well as the IEP team will work on together, will center around this student, and will guide their learning to benefit their personal interests. And it provides the students with freedom and opportunity. We're partnering with our community to provide students real-life opportunities outside of the classroom setting for every single goal that they have specified. So let's look at our proposed entire school floor plan a little bit. So as you can see, orange is for classrooms, and we have 4 main classroom hallways. Right now they're split up by disability category. So this would be EBD, we have autism spectrum disorders down here on the right. In the bottom left we have TBI, and in the upper left we have ID. Each classroom cluster also has a SPED-specific room associated with the functional and life skills very large room in the middle. So we have 2 sensory rooms, which they're located on the ED and ASD halls, but any student or as well as related services can use these rooms. We've also got a kitchen and an intensive therapeutic classroom, which is similar to a sensory room, but it's got a lot more therapy related to it. We have a large gym as well as an entire arts wing, 2 courtyards, and if you can see here, the green is indicated as outside. Every single classroom has a window to the outside so that natural light can come in. We've got a great auditorium, an entire office and room section for related services such as OT, PT, speech, services our students often need. So let's take a look at a specific classroom example. So this is an example of an ASD classroom. However, teachers have discretion on however they like to set it up. This is just an example of how it could be set up. So for example, this class has 2 students who require companion aids, 1 teacher, and 1 instructional aide. So the instructional aid is over here so that when students are using Chromebooks, which we will be one-on-one for this district, every student will receive a Chromebook, and several kids with ASD will also be approved for iPads. But anyways, they'll be able to see all the technology. The teacher's over here with a collaborative desk. We've got a rug for some flexible seating options. Even though there are sensory rooms, we've also got a sensory corner with bean bags. It'll also have a binder with some calming strategies that are interactive with Velcro and laminate. We've got some individual student desks for students who prefer to learn that way, as well as some collaborative student desks. And students will have complete flexible seating options, bouncy bands, wiggle seats, stools, rugs, yoga mats, yoga balls, a rocking chair, all that great stuff. We've got a couch over here. Each classroom is going to have their own bathroom. That is a very cool thing we're excited about. This classroom has a swing. Any classroom can be approved for up to 3 swings. However, we are going to have different types of swings in all of our sensory rooms. And as you can see, the classrooms have a lot of space. A lot of students have behavior issues, and when they become angry or overstimulated, they can potentially, let's for example say, flip a desk. And so we're going to have BIPs to help de-escalate those behaviors, but in case it does happen, we've got a lot of space here to help keep all of our students safe, as well as space for brain breaks, which every teacher will be required to integrate, and movement. So the curriculum is going to have 3 main things that drive it. So first of all, the curriculum will be based around IEPs and transition goals. And these IEP meetings are going to be student-led, meaning that the students are going to indicate, hey, in the area of job skills, I would really like to work in Brew Baker's coffee shop in downtown Sumter, and I would like to walk there every day, which means that in the area of safety and life skills, I need to work on how to be a pedestrian. And so when the IEP team is helping collaborate with the student and draw these things out, it's really going to help the curricular team to use these IEP goals as their standards and these transition IEPs, and to surround the curriculum around that. And that's really how we're driving this learner-centered school. So what will student experience be like? Well, because it is so highly individualized, I cannot tell you what each student's experience will be like, but I can tell you that every student will receive free breakfast and lunch. Every student will get to choose electives in the school that they want and that they think will benefit them. Every student will have access to life skills, sensory integration. The curriculum is going to be goal-centered based on things that they indicate. They're going to have access to therapy and other related services. There's going to be a lot of integration with the arts, as well as sports and Special Olympics and Project Unify. There's going to be a lot of blended learning with technology in the classroom. Every student is going to participate in community field trips weekly, some students even daily. That is a big reason why we've chosen the downtown area, so that students are able to walk out for these community service trips, job skills trips, on-the-job training, even just field trips. We will also take field trips to Gen Ed classrooms once a week to participate with same-aged peers. As I mentioned earlier, frequent breaks, movement in all of our classes. As I mentioned earlier, all classes have windows. We've got 2 courtyards. Students will do a lot of learning outdoors. So yeah, every student's experience is going to be different, but those are some of the things that we'll see across the board. Something else we're going to see is that every IEP goal is going to have objectives that we would like to see students grow in throughout each quarter. Of course, every student is an individual, and not all students learn and grow at the same pace as each other. So if students don't meet these goals, that is okay, and we will just keep pushing through. So how are we going to impact our community? Well, like I said, we're going to be walking a lot. We are surrounded by tons of communities. Some examples of places that students could go on field trips as well as transition into the job force would be the hospital, a local coffee shop, an antique shop, a thrift shop. We've got a pharmacy downtown. We have several restaurants, as well as several government offices are downtown and a hospice center, just a few examples. So students will be participating in on-the-job training, community service. We will be hosting some of the Special Olympics. We'll be working with other schools. We'll be hosting and attending job fairs, as well as inviting members of the community and other schools with Gen Ed students who are same-aged peers to come into our school. So finally, I would just like to end with this quote from John Dewey. Imagination is the medium in which the child lives. So imagination has a lot to do with being learner-centered. Every single student has a beautiful imagination in the school, all 510 of the students who we want to see in our school once it opens. And we really want to keep the spark alive in their imagination and help them carry that with them into their post-secondary lives. And that is something that we aim to do in our learner-centered curriculum. I would like to thank you all for coming out, and these are just a few of the resources that we used to help inform our decisions.